Autumn is kind of my favourite time of year on the garden. It quietens down, so it's easy to do things. It's still quite warm, but it's not so warm that you can't do anything at all. You get lots of crops off of the plot as well, so there's lots of colour and life. And we get a compost delivery. Before I jump ahead of myself and start getting excited about compost, I need to make sure that the beds are nice and clean and free of weeds. If you saw my last video, I went through and talked about all the jobs that are coming up over the next month, and the biggest job for me is preparing my beds for the compost. Come along with me, I'll show you what I need to do, and you can watch me get through all these beds, and hopefully by the end of the video I'll have a lovely clean plot.
Because I have no dig beds, weeding is generally really easy on the plots. There'll be a few persistent things like brambles, however it's a doddle really. The poppies that I'm currently trying to avoid picking up, I really like having them in the beds. They're quite pretty when they come up. They are growing everywhere and I do remove some of them, but I'm going to keep these in and just cover this bed with a little bit of light compost. The paths also need a really good clean. I'm realising just how important the land between my beds is, not just for aesthetics but also for practicality. It makes things like wheelbarrow hauling really easy when the wood chip is clean. This is the new squash bed that I had started last year. This is where my plastic greenhouse was, but it fell down, so I decided to turn it into a really nice bed. It's done me really well this year, but I want to take full advantage of it next year. This will only need a light layer of compost. I'm not too worried about it at the moment, but I'm just going to give it a clean. Once I finished on the squash bed, it was time to head home for the day.
If you haven't done so already and you'd like to, then why not subscribe to my channel and join me on my journey as I learn to grow more of my own food. You can hit the button down there, and I'd love to have you as part of the community. Hello everyone, it's day 2 of the prepping. I'm back on the plot. Managed to get quite away with the weeding yesterday and I cleared a lot of the top, but there's still quite a lot left to do, so I'm going to try and get through it. The comfrey is giving me a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare to get rid of it, I think, because the roots go so far down and there's just so many of them. So that's going to be a bit of an issue for me, clearing the top plot. Once it's done though, I can get cracking with getting the manure and the compost over, and I think I'm going to put some cardboard layers, which I've got down here, underneath all of that, just to try and stop the comfrey from coming through on all those areas.
Today is all about cleaning up the top bed. I want to make sure that all the rogue raspberries and encroaching comfrey is removed so that I have a clean area to start adding compost to. This area has been neglected for a while, but it's also really good growing ground and it's good underneath. The soil's great underneath. I think the globe artichoke will be relieved to see the annoying bindweed gone, and it has a lot of area and space to really grow again. It is a stunning plant. It's done me so well this year and it just looks gorgeous when it comes out in flower.
it is really nice to be ahead of time as well. I don't know if any of you feel like that at home, but it's just so nice to be a sort of a few steps ahead, you know, so that I can kind of put my feet up a little bit in February when it's a bit colder and maybe you don't want to spend so much time down here. In my next video, I will be sorting out the compost, so I'll be making my piles, I'll be getting it on the beds, everything looking really nice and ready to go. I'll also be doing the wood chip on the paths, so you can see all that progress in my next video. But thank you very much for joining me on this video, and hopefully it's given you some motivation to get out onto your plots and sort them out. And if you're starting your allotments this year, as I know lots of people are, then it gives you that little bit of a direction, you know, have a go, you know, start working on your plots now, because it really does help when it comes around to January and February. I will see you in the next video where I'll be knee deep in compost. Until then, if you'd like to check out any more of my videos, you can find them over here. Bye!